so hypnotic, magical, cold, 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 cold. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. You're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical, cold, 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 cold. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. I don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.
Sam, you good to talk about Tufts?
I can talk about Tufts.
Hello and welcome to Saul Gittleman Park for the first game of a doubleheader in what is sure to be a fun and full day of baseball between your Tufts University Jumbos and the Polar Bears of Bowdoin College. The Jumbos enter this one 10 and 12, but have been playing well as of late, taking two big games last weekend in a doubleheader against Amherst to win their first series of NESCAC play. And they had a good one earlier this week on Tuesday against number 5 ranked Endicott College, playing them in a tough, tight 5-2 loss. Jumbos will have their hands full this weekend with Bowdoin, who comes into this one 19 and 4 and 5 and 1 in NESCAC play. I'm joined today by Harrison Sternberg and Sam Weinstein. Harrison, what are your thoughts coming into this one?
Yeah, Bowdoin definitely a strong team, 19 and 4 as you said. Although I would not allow yourself to be a little bit misled by this record because of their non-conference schedule. Obviously, Bowdoin hailing from up north in Maine, but if you take a look at their non-conference schedule, a little bit weaker, some smaller schools, not too much challenging play so far. So this game will definitely pose an interesting challenge for the Bowdoin Polar Bears, arguably one of their toughest games of the year. And then looking at their in-conference play so far, they played Trinity, kind of a team that's been up and down through the past couple of years, and then Bates, consistently one of the lesser teams in the NESCAC, and that's how they've managed to come to 19 and 4, 5 and 1 in conference. But these games will definitely pose an interesting challenge for them.
Yeah, but don't knock this Bears team. They're 19 and 4, like you said, on the year. This is already one of their best seasons since 2016. They're on track for one of the best seasons in program history. They have the best overall record in the NESCAC. They're yet to have a ranked win though. That's the thing that you're talking about. Difficulty of schedule, you know. The Jumbos, they took a win over in California over ranked Pomona, whereas the Bears have yet to been tested in that way. So should be a really fun one. And you talked about Bates. Bates stole a win here last week, 2 weeks ago, and then stole a win from Bowdoin up north as well. So should be a fun one. Excited to have this on the mic with you guys. And yeah, Matt.
Quickly, as we get started, let's take a peek at the Tufts defensive alignment. On the bump for the Jumbos is grad student captain Silas Reed. His battery mate is Connor Brawla as Ruben Siegel steps in and swings along at the first pitch of the game. Slaps it out to left field, and it falls in that little Bermuda Triangle out behind third base. So first pitch hacking Ruben Siegel is aboard for Bowdoin.
Yeah, Siegel's been really great as their #1 hitter so far. Uh, Consistent last season, 266 average. Brought that up to 273 thus far, but has been categorical for the Bears. Not that much power, no home runs for him yet this season.
Siegel 18 for 19 with stolen bases on the year of this Bowdoin team. Definitely a team that likes to run a lot.
As that ball is swung on and hit hard out to left center field, off the center field fence and played out there by Fleckner. He gets us in. Fleischner takes the cut and stops on his on for what will ultimately just be a very long single out to center field. A bit of confusion on the base paths there for the Polar Bears, who appear to be jumping on the first pitch fastball, something that head coach Brian Stark of the Jumbos tends to emphasize, and now they're getting a little taste of their own medicine, as with nobody on, the Polar Bears have men on the corners.
Immediate trouble here for Tufts as Bowdoin has jumped on the first 2 pitches of the game, something you don't really see a lot. Definitely catching this Jumbos team off guard in a sticky situation. You see as the head coach of Bowdoin, Mike Connolly, out to talk to the umpires, addressing something possibly related to an interference. That could make sense as to why the runner wasn't able to make it to second base.
Yeah.
and-
I
and
think Conley is going to be asking about an interference call, as there was some confusion there as to why that was just a single on a ball that one-hopped the center field fence. In the meantime, while they work this one out, finishing off the defensive arrangement for Tufts, Lisco over at first, McCullough and Fleischer, the duo up the middle. Fleischer, of course, one of the most sure-handed in the NESCAC, a perennial Gold Glove candidate, and won the Gold Glove in 2023. Henshin mans the hot corner, and paroling the outfield, Leonard, Fleckner, and Smith. With that, now standing in is Kevin Murray, who hits in the 3-hole for Bowdoin. Looked like Bordes was going to try to jump on the first pitch, but kind of stumbled getting his jump, so he'll reassess and take the signs from his first base coach as Murray takes the first pitch looking for a strike.
Kevin Murray hits only 273, which is actually the lowest out of the qualified batters on this Bowdoin roster, but incredible OPS over 1,000. Speaks to his ability to get on base.
And that is just what the doctor ordered for the Jumbos. A little check swing, excuse me, comebacker to Silas Reed, who snares it out of the air and doubles off Will Bordes over at first base. So what looked like trouble early has now turned into 2 outs and only 1 on for Tufts, exactly what the doctor ordered there.
Man.
And isn't that just what you love? The pitcher flashing the glove a little bit. Really great play there from Reed on the mound. Gets the double play.
Bowdoin jumping on the first pitch consistently in the start of this first inning. Maybe they saw something in film or through scouting that they like, maybe picking up that first pitch fastball. A lot of times guys will try and sneak that first pitch fastball by you, try and pick up an easy strike if they know you're not going to swing. But Bowdoin has been really aggressive early in the count.
Yeah, and whenever you're facing a guy like Silas Reed, you gotta have a game plan coming in. Reed comes into this one making his 6th start, posting a 2.84 ERA with 39 Ks on the year. So definitely a guy that Bowdoin needs to game plan for, and it looks early like their approach is going to be jump on that first pitch heater. As that pitch is swung on and lofted softly into shallow center field. Oh, and it just falls past the diving Ozzie Fleischer, who almost had a chance to flash some beautiful leather out on that Jumbo's logo deep out in center field. A tough play for a shortstop to make. But Fleckner was playing deep, respecting the power there of Chai, who posts a 5.11 slug on the year.
Yeah, this kid Chai has been something. Chai has been something. He's looking to capitalize off of a great sophomore season. Hit 348 last season. Now he's slashing 358 with a 5.11 slugging. Just a part of this really great and consistent Bowdoin batting lineup.
Yeah, it's not so often you see the heart of an order with several guys slashing 3-4-5, but as we see now, standing in for Bowdoin is Liam Foley, who's a guy posting a 369 average and on base over 500. So this Bowdoin team is loaded with offensive talent and already striking on the board early against Silas Reed, a guy who rarely concedes runs early in the first inning.
And look, this Bowdoin team, looking at their stats, they have 9 qualified batters. That's going to tell you 2 things. 1, they lack depth. 2, Coach Connolly really likes these starters. All of these guys have played almost every game. To have not a single other qualified batter in your entire roster, these guys have been really successful, and Coach Connolly hasn't wanted to switch it up. Speaking to that success, 7 of the 9 qualified hitters, 7 of 9 today's starting hitters for Bowdoin hit over 300. The next 2 still hitting at a really solid 273. So this is a very potent Bowdoin lineup that has been hitting all year.
As the back pick comes in and just narrowly diving back into the bag is Liam Foley. Nice little chase pitch, 0-2 from Silas Reed in the lefty batter's box. That outside slider, and Connor Bralla smartly snaps down a back pick. Just narrowly able to dive back in was Foley over at first base. A lot of directions Reed could go here with the 1-2. Got him early with 2 fastballs. Then he went slider. See if he goes back to the hard stuff here. He goes slider and grounds it softly to Fleischer, who will take the fielder's choice. So the Jumbos concede 1, Bowdoin up 1-0. They score that on 3 hits, no errors, stranding 1. We'll take a quick break and be back on the Tufts half of the inning in the bottom of the first. Stay with us. And we're back in the bottom of the first. Let's take a quick peek at this Tufts batting lineup. Leading things off for the Jumbos is Jesse McCullough. Hitting out of the 2-hole is senior left fielder Ben Leonard. He's slashing 301, 465, 534. He's red hot. We'll see what he can do today. Cooper Smith is the junior right fielder hitting out of the 3-hole, and James Henshin, the freshman third baseman, hits cleanup, the lone freshman contributor to this lineup, and he's been putting together a nice rookie campaign. Had a double and a triple in one of the games in the doubleheader against Amherst last week, and 2 hits just recently against Endicott. It's Pavliks, Bralla, and Fleckner, 5, 6, 7, and Lisko and Fleischer to round out the order for the Jumbos. They'll have their work cut out for them today, as Bowdoin, this is what we anticipated to be a pitcher's duel, although the Polar Bears were jumping on Silas Reed early. Sam, what can you tell us about this Bowdoin arm?
Yeah, this is the senior from New York, Jason Bogdanos, posts out of Poly Prep Country Day, a really prestigious athletic school, primarily known for their baseball program. He started this season really great. He's thrown 31 innings, only a 2.9 ERA. You know, doesn't let a lot of runs in. You know, like you said, we thought this would be a battle of the arms. Reed's had a stellar season as well. Bowdoin looked on him at the start, and let's see what Tufts can respond with.
Standing in to lead things off for the Jumbos is junior second baseman Jesse McCullough.
Average dropped down to 231 on the year. Obviously not where he wants it, but a guy who's capable of much more. Started and played in all 20 of Tufts games so far.
And McCullough is hacking on the first pitch fastball. Seems to be something that Tufts is emphasizing. This is something we knew coming into the game. The Jumbos actually have written on the whiteboard in their dugout, attack fastballs. There's a little, he swings at a fastball there, but swings right through it as the count is now 0-2. Coach Brian Stark has a little graphic up. My face whenever you take fastballs, and it's a little frowner, and my face whenever you swing at fastballs, it's a big smiling face. So something the Jumbos are emphasizing, but 1, 2, 3, McCullough will go down looking at a painted outside fastball. So not the start Tufts was looking for. Bowdoin is cooking with gas early.
All fastballs as well. Swung through 2 early up in the zone, and then dotted one on the outer half to send him looking.
Yeah, and now it's Ben Leonard. He's usually the leadoff guy. He chases at a little 2-seam sinker, it looked like there. But he's usually the leadoff guy. Looks like they're switching it up with McCullough to start, but in the 2-hole now is Leonard.
As Leonard chops that one slowly at the second baseman, who throws on and makes the quick out. So 5 pitches, 2 away for Bogdanos, the start he was looking for. As now we have the junior right fielder standing in for the Jumbos, Cooper Smith. He comes in making his 23rd start, hitting .333. So the Jumbos looking for a little 2-out Lightning, and this is hopefully the guy in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and he's been leading the team in hits. He's been pretty great. Tips that one off. Uh, but yeah, like you said, batting 333, 12 RBIs, almost triple what he had last season. Looking to continue to capitalize off this really great senior campaign.
The 0-1 delivery misses low. Count works to 1-1. Something I'm seeing early from Bogdanos is he's on the mound, ready to throw, kind of pushing the pace. This has already been what feels like a quick inning.
Very imposing presence on the mound early, something that definitely will play to his advantage. He's also thrown 8 pitches, 7 of which have been strikes so far. Always going to have a lot of success as a pitcher. Statistically, the most important pitch in any at-bat is that first pitch strike in terms of hit probability. If a pitcher can throw a first pitch strike, the hitter's ability to have success in that at-bat goes down a lot.
It's definitely something that all pitching coaches will emphasize: first pitch strikes and quick out decisions. You want to have a guy in and out in 3 pitches or less, and he's done that in both at bats by way of the strikeout and the ground out. The 2-2 is hit through the 6 hole. First hit of the game for the Jumbos. It's Cooper Smith, continuing on what's been an impressive junior campaign. So he gets things going with 2 outs for the Jumbos to set up the red hot freshman James Henshin. Sam, what can you tell us about James Henshin?
Well, the first thing about Henshin, he is just disgusting with the leather. He is pretty great at the third base, makes a lot of good plays. You know, won that third base job, hitting 278 on his freshman season. You know, what more can you ask for from your rookie?
One thing I really love, and I think is a testament to Coach Stark's coaching style, as we kind of try to figure out his pedagogy in his first year leading this ball club, is that he's kept Henshin in that 4 hole. He has faith in his freshman, even at times when Henshin has struggled a bit. As that one is laced right on cue into right center, it is cut off, but deep in the gap. The windmill is on. They're sending him. Coming around home. The play at the plate. Sliding in. And he is gunned. The outfield assist goes 9-4-2. And they're able to cut down Cooper Smith.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
what a job by the center fielder there. Thompson cutting it off. If that ball gets to the wall, 100% Smith is scoring. What stopped it there was him getting it to the ball and getting it in quickly. An aggressive send from Stark, no doubt. One that you really don't mind this early in the game, though. However, the throw didn't even get to the cutoff. It went straight to second base, and a really strong throw from the shortstop to get him by a step or two.
Yeah, it was just an absolutely clinical relay there from center to second to home. As you mentioned, I think you have to appreciate the aggressive send from Stark, especially considering Bogdanos and the difficulty of just scratching runs across the board with a guy like him on the bump. We're talking about a sub-3 ERA guy, so if you can get a chance to tie it up early in the first, that's something you're definitely going to do. So a justified aggressive send, but just a clinical relay nabs the runner at home, and the Jumbos end up putting none across on 2 hits in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, that was a throw from just another freshman on this young Bowdoin Bears lineup. At short was Will Cook, getting him out at home. That was a laser that he got from the infield. And you can see why their record is so great this season. You know, they're playing it right. They're playing the defense right. They're not letting up runs like that, and you know, just a well-organized defense on display right now.
You're absolutely right, Sam. These are the types of things that good teams do. That's how you win ball games, and cutting down runners at the plate is something that coaches love and winning programs can do consistently. The Bowdoin Bears do it in the bottom of the first to cut down a run against Tufts. Finn Cahill now stands in. He's the 6th hitter, and he takes the first pitch looking for a ball. Looks like Silas Reed wanted that one on the outside corner, but home plate umpire is not going to give it to him. Cahill, a freshman on this team.
Just another one. Yeah, he's got 19 RBIs off 17 hits. He's really dangerous with men on. He's slashing 347 with 453 or 469 rather slugging. Just
Yeah, another super high batting average for these Polar Bears. A lot of really strong hitters up and down the lineup.
It's kind of ridiculous, honestly, that their 1 through 8 seem to be all posting averages above a 300 clip. I mean, obviously, slightly different barometer in D3 baseball versus what you may see out of pro guys. as that time Finn Cahill is late on the heater and Silas Reed picks up his first punch out of the game.
Yeah, did he give him 3 straight fastballs there? That was I think he was testing the off speed a little bit in that first inning. Clearly it was not working. And he's going for the straight gas.
Standing in now, back-to-back freshmen in this lineup for Bowdoin. It's Will Cook. He, again, feeling like a broken record here, but is hitting above 300. He's hitting at a 306 clip with 2 doubles, 2 triples on the year, as he just fans at that backdoor slider, not even close to it, missed it by about 3 feet, I would say, way out in front. So Silas Reed definitely in an uncomfortable at bat, particularly this grad student versus freshman matchup. Nice 0-2 backdoor slider, but Cook, disciplined, lays off. The 1-2 is hit off the hands right at the second baseman there. That's Jesse McCullough for the second out of the inning. Nice sequence there. Harrison, what did you see there from Silas Reed? Looked like 2 fastballs, a slider, and then had him just tied up in knots on that inside fastball, excuse me.
Yeah, you always want to get ahead with the fastball, then you can go to work with your off speed. And it seems like he's really liking the slider early in this game, although he does have the changeup in his arsenal as well. But slider in breaking on the hands of a lefty kind of gets you conscious of the inside pitch, and then you're able to buzz one even closer in on the hands with the fastball, have him delayed and jammed. Not a fun experience for a hitter on this cold day.
As Chris Dirks takes that one, the 1-0 delivery right back where it came from, up the middle with a line drive single. So again, another 2-out hit. We saw that from the Jumbos in the bottom of the first. That's Chris Dirks who completed that nice 8-4-2 outfield assist in the last inning, having a nice start to this game with a single.
Yeah, he's just one of the very few players who hasn't showed an elite batting average so far this season, but clearly he's on Reed as well. The top of the lineup was looking really good, and that's what you need from the men at the bottom of your lineup. Get on base no matter the amount of outs, and post it up for your best hitters.
Runner goes, Brawla, Brawla, a throw right back into his pitcher, Silas Reed, who was hunched down, and that just hits him right on the rubber. So this is a narrative we've been following. Connor Brawla swings a hot stick, but is not the strongest glove behind the plate in a position that is arguably, well, the catcher is the captain of the defense, the most important defensive position out there. So he's been splitting some time with freshman Nick Banner, but getting the majority of the work in lieu of Malcolm Whitfield, who is the best in the business, which may also be putting a little bit of spotlight on Brawla's defensive shortcomings. Whitfield won NESCAC Defensive Player of the Year, was an All-American second-team honoree, and he's been out with injury, hoping to see him back on the field soon, especially come postseason. But Brawla catching in his place and doing a serviceable job, but certainly in moments like that, we miss the absence of Whitfield, who is as sure-handed as it comes behind the plate, and certainly a guy pitchers love to throw to.
Yeah, catcher, one of the only positions in the game where you can get by just being an elite defender. If you're an elite defender and you're playing catcher, you do not need to hit. Hitting just comes as a bonus at that point. Brawla, a little bit different from the build of most catchers, probably hitter first, has the potential to be sound defensively and has definitely made forward strides as the year's gone on, but still more work to be done.
It's Siegel now, 2-2 count. He lofted that one over Henshin's head in the first inning as he hits one on a bit of a check swing out to center field. Calling for it, and under it is Henry Fleckner, and he makes the last out of the inning. So Bowdoin plates none on one hit. They strand a man. We'll take a quick break. It's Bowdoin 1-0. We'll be back in the bottom of the second. Stay with us. And we're back here in the bottom of the second. Due up for the Jumbos, it's Max Pavlik, Connor Bralla, and Henry Fleckner. Sam, what can you tell us about number 16, Max Pavlik?
Well, Max Pavlik started this season real hot. 3 home runs in the month of March. Missed some of the games at the end of the month against Bates. Was not sure if that was an injury concern or just trying to switch up the lineups. But then he came back for the losses to Amherst and Endicott, and the 2 wins against Amherst. But he's really looking to recreate this March power. He's hitting 273 with a 455 slugging average. But yeah, 3 home runs. That's the thing that you got to look at, especially on this team that's in low power mode, as one might say. Only um, only 9 home runs through 22 games. They're going to really look to someone like Pavlik to juice him up, I would say.
He takes the first delivery from Jason Bogdanos low, count 1-0. Bogdanos comes set and the delivery. That ball is swung on and missed. Count is 1-1. But again, nice to see the Jumbos hunting fastball early, certainly an approach. Seeing Coach Stark clap a couple times down the line in that third base coach's box. Even if you swing and miss, he likes to see guys taking a hack at those early heaters.
Bogdanos certainly has this fastball going early. One thing that you like to see from a good fastball, obviously there's velocity, and just based off my guess, I'd say he's sitting high, low, high, or mid-high 80s. But another thing that makes a good fastball great is the ride that he gets on it, and it certainly seems like
So that ball is swung on and struck well out to right field. Play made out there, a couple steps shy of the warning track, but Pavlik gives that one a ride, ends up being the first out of the inning.
Yeah, as I was saying, it seems like Bogdanos gets really good ride on his fastball. Obviously, kind of left one lower in the zone there, but good ride makes it much harder for hitters to get on top of the fastball and drive it.
Yeah, but I think the thing that these Tufts bats are going to be really looking to do is take uh, Bogdanos deeper into innings, deeper into out time, like we see our boy Salas Reed doing. But, you know,
Oh, Bralla laces the 2-0 delivery out to center field. Diving play made out there in center. Web gem from number 4, Cal Thompson, the sophomore. Local kid out of Hudson, Mass. Beautiful play, and that'll get claps from Jason Bogdanos for the second out of the inning.
And we could see early that part of what makes this Bowdoin team so strong is their defense cutting down a run at the plate in the first inning, taking away possible extra bases here in the second inning. Thompson in the center of both of those plays.
not to be overlooked, though, is that it looks like these Tufts bats are beginning to catch on to this Bogdanos fastball. They're getting decent contact. Let's see if they could turn into a base hit.
Yeah, that ball off the bat of Bralla, I thought caught a bit more barrel, maybe a bit off the end there, as that ended up kind of falling um, in shallow center field. Really nice play ranging in there by the center fielder. Count now 2-0, and that ball is laced hard right down at Brian Starku. Quick feet, nice little maneuver to get out of the way of that one.
All three batters this inning, Bogdanos has started 2-0, went 3-1 on Pavlik's. 2-0, he's given fastballs to both Bralla, which Thompson made a sprawling play on, and now Fleckner, who pulled off of it a little bit, but definitely losing the zone a little bit early, starting each batter 2-0.
Fleckner takes that one down in the dirt. Count is now 3-1.
That ball went about 56 feet before skipping a couple feet in front of home plate.
Fleckner is slashing 244, 302, 308 this year, numbers down from last year in which he had an average above 350. As he gets into that one, gets under it a little bit and skies it out to the left fielder who's camping under it, and that will go for the third out of the inning. So Tufts goes down 1-2-3, no hits, no runs, no errors. We'll take a quick break and be back in the Bowdoin half of the third inning. Stay with us. And we're back here in the bottom of the third as Silas Reed's first pitch delivery is a backdoor slider that can't quite make its way back onto the outside half of the plate for ball one.
Top of the lineup here for Bowdoin did damage hunting the first pitch fastball last time. Notably this time, Reed starts the at-bat with 2 sliders, first one missing, this one nicking the outside corner, making the count 1-1, not wanting to give in and give him that fastball.
As that fastball just misses off the top of the zone, Connor Brawl tried to snap it back down in there and help out his pitcher, but couldn't quite get the call. So count now 2-1. StatCast has both these pitchers sitting high 80s, 88, topping out around 90. Both Reed and Bogdanos, as Reed gets the call in the inside corner there. Count now 2-2. So definitely two of the best arms in the NESCAC. Pretty high velo and nice control, especially at the D3 level. So we anticipated a pitcher's duel, although Bowdoin has 4 hits, Tufts has 2. We'll see how that story unfolds as this game continues.
Yeah, and these are your Friday night guys. We may be playing here a little bit early due to inclement weather, but these are the 1A guys. These are the guys you want going in Game 7 in the college baseball playoff if they do make it. Definitely seeing some of the best arms in the NESCAC here. And 88-90, especially playing up with this spin and then the cold factored in. Not a fun day for hitters.
As that ball hit up the middle and a nice play to the backhand side by Jesse McCullough, who retires Ruben Siegel. Standing in now is Will Bordes, who is 1-for-1 as he hits one on the first pitch. Swing. Ozzie Fleischer pulls off the bag over there at first base. AJ Lisco couldn't quite hold his foot, so an uncharacteristic error from Ozzie. Don't see that every day. And certainly not something you can afford to give up against this this Bowdoin team. I mean, that was a routine play.
Yeah, second time first pitch swinging for Bordes, the two-way player. He's a closer for the Bears as well.
Wow.
Posting some honestly ridiculous numbers so far in 9 games. He has 5 saves, a 2-0 record with a bunt there. Looking to advance the
That
batters.
throws way up the line. Silas Reed tugs it left of his first baseman. Stop sign is put on over at third base. So back-to-back errors for the Jumbos, this time by way of the small ball as the 3-hitter Murray lays down a bunt just with the intention of a sacrifice, but ends up putting guys on second and third now with only 1 out. That's Murray, who in his last at-bat hit that comebacker to Silas Reed that ended up being a double play. Maybe karma comes around and the luck does not go the Jumbos' way this time, as they're finding themselves in a bit of a predicament with 2 ducks on the pond and 1 out for the 4-hitter now, Chai.
Another example of this Bowdoin lineup being ever so versatile. Their 3-hole hitter dropping down a bunt. Tufts defense definitely not expecting that. And not only was it a bunt, it was a really nice bunt. Obviously going for the sacrifice there, but he was able to push it down the third base line, making that a really difficult play. Hard to say if they would have gotten him, regardless of whether or not it was fielded and thrown cleanly.
Chai hits one hard at McCullough. That will do the job to get the run in, and the runner on second advances over to third base. So the Jumbos will trade an out for a run. Now 2 outs and a man on third here.
Yeah, that bunt is it's just something that you see from an all NESCAC guy. That's what Kevin Murray was last season, just continuing to post some superb numbers in this now senior season for the Bowdoin Bears.
It's Foley now. He bounced into a fielder's choice to end first inning. Takes that one, a nice get me over Ossud pitch, 1-1.
He's also just, again, slashing some ridiculous numbers, hitting 369. But again, like a lot of this Bears team, no home runs. The question remains that where's the power on this team?
As that ball is hit back up the middle, just past Ozzie Fleischer, an RBI single for Foley, plates another one for Bowdoin, and so the back-to-back errors prove costly for the Bows, as they often do, playing against strong competition. Bowdoin now up 3-0. They plate both those runners, both of which will be unearned to Silas Reed's ledger, although one of those errors was made by him.
I always think about the unearned runs as far as the pitcher goes. And, if they know that they're in a difficult spot and they get a ball hit back to them, maybe just throw an error in there. Get those unearned runs instead of earned.
Yeah,
Don't think many pitchers actually do that, though. Although I'm sure he won't be too mad about the fact that those are unearned runs.
So that second run is unearned, even though that's his error.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unearned. Doesn't look good on the defensive side of things, but not many
That's not what starts.
scouts are going deep into how fielders field PFPs, you know.
Yeah.
But Reed is the pinnacle of a team guy, one of the captains of this ball club, certainly not trying to stat pad by throwing a ball into left field. This is a guy, or excuse me, right field. This is a guy that teammates will rave about as that ball just barely squeezes through. Bowdoin is hitting the ball all over the place, and the runner will advance to third, sliding in there safely. So Silas Reed, uncharacteristically getting knocked around a little bit here in the top of the third, and right on cue, trotting out there for Tufts is going to be um, pitching coach. That's Bob Clark. He's going to have a conversation with Silas Reed, maybe try to slow him down a little bit and talk about how to approach getting out of this jam.
Yeah, I know neither of you guys were pitchers back in your day, but Coach Trot's out there. You're in the infield. What are you thinking right now? Your pitcher's getting knocked around a little. 6 hits already through 3. What's going through your mind?
You got to settle down here. He's done a good job of getting ahead, but he's not executing once he gets ahead, leaving a lot of pitches over the middle of the plate. And I think it all starts with the fastball for me. You got to be able to command the zone with the fastball, which he's kind of lost. He's been going at these guys with sliders first pitch a lot of the time. You got to be able to establish the fastball, and then you can work with your off speed off of that. But overall, this Bowdoin lineup is just really strong. They've done a really good job of knocking the ball all around the park, hitting it where it's pitched, putting pressure on the defense, forcing Tufts to execute. And in truth, they really haven't executed that well so far defensively.
May also be a brief conversation about defensive decision making. Likely we see Cahill get in motion here with 2 outs in a first and third situation. But likely, as you're saying, Harrison, just trying to slow down his grad student, getting back in rhythm, attacking this hitter. Now it's the shortstop, Cook, who stands in over 1, trying to get out of this jam. And ultimately, with how Tufts has been swinging things recently, a 3-0 deficit is not insurmountable, but got to limit the bleeding. Bend, don't break, as Mike Tomlin would say.
Mike Tomlin quote on the Bates the Bowdoin, sorry, Tufts broadcast. You don't hear that every day.
Maybe showing a little bit of my Pittsburgh homer bias there.
Yeah, maybe don't give any Pirates advice, I would say.
Fair. As the 2-1 delivery catches the inside corner to the chagrin of Cook. Count now 2-2. Bowdoin has posted 6 hits and plated 3 runs.
Chagrin.
Yeah.
Nice attendance as the crowd is filling up here.
Got a thesaurus on play-by-play these days.
Friday afternoon game in Medford.
Swung on and missed. That looked like a dirty outside changeup. So on 3 hits or maybe 2 hits and a couple of errors, the Polar Bears plate 2 and strand 2. They're now up 3-0. We'll take a quick break and be back in the bottom of the third. And we're back here in the bottom of the third inning as the Jumbos trail the Polar Bears 3-0. Today, Tufts University is celebrating Green Dot Day. Green Dot is a student-led movement that focuses on skill building, culture change, and large-scale social commitment to sexual assault prevention. The goal is to provide education, trainings, and skills so anyone can be an active bystander and interrupt concerning behaviors. They encourage you to find comfortable, healthy ways to look out for yourself, your peers, and build a prevention-based community. The Jumbos baseball team is dedicating their games today to Green Dot in support of bystander intervention and building a supportive community. nice to see a lot of people coming out in support of Green Dot and the Jumbos today. We've got a full crowd here at the Git as we're back to baseball action. It's Lisco, Fleischer, and then the top of the order with McCullough to start things off as Lisco takes the first pitch on the outside corner for strike one.
You'd really like to see Jumbos put some pressure on this Bowdoin defense, get some runners on for the top of the lineup. This game is going to go by quick. Granted, just being a 7-inning game, we're almost already halfway through this game, flying by. So definitely want to put some pressure on.
Yeah, just want to say you always make me feel supported, Matt and Harrison. It's great to be here with you guys on Green Dot Day.
It is great to be here, and nice to see the community coming out. I've got some numbers for us here on Lisco. He's starting his 15th game. He's appeared in 18 thus far, hitting at a 265 clip, though the batting average is 413 as he laces one out there and just barely past the diving second baseman, that is Bordes. So that'll be a hit, although Bowdoin had the scouting report right. Bordes was shaded out into shallow right field, so not often you see those kinds of advanced analytics or deep scouting at the D3 level, but Bowdoin had something there on Lisco because Bordes hadn't played perfectly, but that ball was just hit right on the screws and gets past him.
Yeah, and you see him now much more shallow, much closer to the second base bag. Yeah, I know that happens when someone's on first, but yeah, it looks like they had read into uh Lisco's batting stats. Love to see that in D3 baseball.
It's the captain, Ozzie Fleischer, now, who, as we mentioned, plays an impeccable shortstop, though earlier in this one did make an error. A narrative we've been following this year has been the bat of Fleischer, and it's been struggling a bit. He's hitting just 200, which is down from last season, where in 41 games he slashed 308, 377, 408 with 25 RBIs in 133 game sample set. So Fleischer hopefully can get the bat going as he is an integral component of this Jumbo's squad. Even early, just seeing him take a hack at that first pitch fastball looks a little bit off balance, a little bit uncomfortable, though granted, this is an uncomfortable at bat. We're talking about a guy with like a 2.6 ERA. But we've seen Fleischer kind of work around some of his, as that one is hit softly into shallow center field. Should be an easy play. Thompson ranging in. He made that beautiful catch in the last inning to rob a hit of Connor Brala, but he'll make that play and retire Fleischer. I was saying we've seen Fleischer kind of work around some of his struggles trying to bunt guys over. I thought maybe in that situation, try to push Lisco to second base by dropping down a bunt, as we saw Bowdoin do. But the deficit is 3, and the Jumbos are going to try to get it back by way of swinging and not small ball. But nonetheless, Fleischer's struggles continue. But the order does flip now. So we've got McCullough second time around.
Yeah, he's 0-1 on the day. Like we said before, somewhat new to this leadoff spot. I think they liked his matchup here against the Bowdoin pitcher, and let's see what he can do now.
Bogdanos has really been trying to front door that curveball slider. Tried it to both Fleischer and now McCullough without success, trying to mix up his looks here a little bit instead of leaving the slider on the outer half, trying to front door it a little bit.
Back pick coming in there, diving back safely by about a half step is Lisco. Nice effort by the Polar Bears backstop. That's Dirks back there. Count is now 2-1. Jumbos really need to capitalize in this bottom of the third. As you mentioned, Harrison, just a 7-inning game as the runner goes, and that ball is hit, and that is down. Really nice deke out there by Bordes, right field. But sliding into third safely is AJ Lisco. Saw Bordes throw up the glove as if he was going to be able to make a play on that, and Lisco stutter stepped and even stopped at second base. So really high IQ play out there in right field, but nonetheless able to get into third base and advance on the Jesse McCullough single as AJ Lisco. So as I was saying, and now the point becomes even more prudent, the Jumbos need to capitalize in this inning. You don't often get this kind of early inning action against Bogdanos. We're only playing a 7-inning game. 2 ducks on the pond here for the heart of the order. Hopefully the Jumbos can scrape a couple across.
And it'll be interesting to see if McCullough goes here. Didn't go on this first pitch of the bat, but I would not be surprised at all to see the leadoff hitter try and take this double play out of the game. Leonard grounded out 4-3 last time to the second baseman. As we see a pickoff. Obviously trying to lift one into the outfield here. That's Lisco, has good speed at third. Should be able to score on a medium death ground fly ball.
Ooh, right on that heater. The 1-0 fastball, he fouls it back to the backstop, but looks like he just barely missed it. Timing looks right on here for Ben Leonard. This is the guy you want up in this situation. We've got Leonard, Smith, and then Henshin, heart of the order here.
Yeah, most definitely. 11 RBIs so far. Another leadoff over there at first base. But yeah, Leonard, 11 RBIs on the season, 2 home runs. Just another guy with an inkling of power in a generally weak, tough lineup this season. Throws high for a ball, but Leonard is definitely the guy on top of Brala and Henshin that you want in this position. A golden opportunity really here for the Jumbos. As you said, with 2 on, only 1 away.
McCullough just 3 for 5 on this year on stolen bases. This Tufts team has not stolen a lot. Nobody over 7 steals.
Wow.
But a steal could prove to be pivotal in this situation.
Yeah, we'll see. It's 2-2 now. It'd be this pitch or the next one to go on, especially if they have some guess of an off speed. Takes a little extra half step on the lead. He's a step and a dive in back to first base on the third pickoff attempt. So unlike the MLB, that we do not have the disengagement policy at the D3 level. Otherwise, that'd be a free bag for the Jumbos. That would have been nice. The 2-2 delivery is a beautiful slider down in the dirt, and that will sit down Ben Leonard. So now the spotlight gets put on Cooper Smith in a huge situation here in the bottom of the third. 2 outs and 2 on for the junior right fielder as the Jumbos desperately need to get on the board against the Bowdoin lineup that looks difficult to stop on the offensive side of things.
Yeah, you're a hitter in Leonard's position. You see the pitcher step off 2, 3, 4 times. Are you swinging there like he just did?
It's messing with your timing a little bit, varying your looks. Good job by Bogdanos overall to keep the runner in check and then keep the hitter off balance. Cooper Smith last time singled ground ball through the 5-hole into left field. Could really use that again.
The 1-0 delivery, Bogdanos comes set and delivers. That off-speed pitch is swung on and hit out to right center field. Ranging under it, going a long way to make the play is the center fielder Thompson. He's made a couple nice plays in this game, that time calling off Ruben Siegel out and right. The Jumbos plate none on 2 hits. They strand both of those guys. It is still 3-0 Bowdoin Polar Bears over Tufts here. We'll be back in the top of the 4th after a quick break. All right, we're back here in the top of the 4th inning. Thanks for sticking with us. It's Dirks, Thompson, and then top of the order with Ruben Siegel to lead things off for the Polar Bears. Dirks stands in. He's 1 for 1 on the day, singled in his first at bat against Silas Reed as he looks to lay down a bunt, chops it right back to Reed. Plenty of time, throws on to first, calm and collected for the first out of the inning.
And that time he's on point. You know, I think they saw a little bit of mania from the Jumbo's defense the last time the Bears laid down a bunt. This time they're on it. This time Reed gets the play. And that's how you got to start an inning. You're down 3. get that first out off the first pitch. Maybe let your pitcher not throw as many pitches as he has been through innings.
As Cal Thompson hits one on the screws right at Henson, picks it up
Nice
and
recovery.
recovers. Nice recovery by the freshman with the clean glove over at the hot corner. That's James Henson. So 2 pitches, 2 outs, exactly what Silas Reed needed in this top of the 4th. Yeah, back to that bunt. I thought that was interesting. First of all, worth noting, that's the catcher, Dirks, laying down that bunt and also squaring particularly early for someone trying to bunt for a hit. Almost squared like it would be a sacrifice, but he was leading off that inning, obviously no one on. So the Jumbos were able to crash, and he just bunted it right back to the pitcher. As take a look at what's going on here. Calling time from the dugout is the Bowdoin head coach who wants to talk things over with his leadoff hitter in the middle of an at-bat. Not something you see super often.
And I'd imagine this has less to do with the hitter and more to do with the state of the inning. Just 3 pitches thrown so far. Obviously, want to give his defense a rest. I'd imagine he'll take the next 1 or 2 pitches. If this is a ball, I imagine he'll take the following pitch, trying to give his defense a little bit more time to reset inside the dugout.
Part of it, Harrison, that's a great point, is also just a momentum thing. One thing that all coaches will emphasize, and I wonder if Bowdoin head coach is upset with his 9-hole hitter there, is after a 1 pitch out, you don't want to swing first pitch at the next one, and you definitely don't want to do it after 2 1-pitch decisions. So probably, as you're saying, trying to get his guy to take a couple pitches as he takes right on cue a fastball right down the middle. So
a very unique opportunity here for Silas Reed to get his team into the dugout right away. Really quick inning, and he executes nicely there. Put this Bowdoin team on its heels, and a really good opportunity for the Jumbos to capitalize offensively now.
yeah, great inning, exactly what the Jumbos need. Silas Reed sits down the side with no hits, 1 strikeout on just 6 pitches. Jumbos will have 4, 5, 6. We'll be back in a few seconds. Stay with us. We're back here in the bottom of the 4th inning as the Jumbos have 4, 5, 6 in the lineup due up. That's James Henson, Max Pavlik, and Connor Bralla. A storyline we'll be following between innings. Head coach Brian Stark was having a very spirited conversation with the home plate umpire, which ended with him kind of storming away and saying some words over his left shoulder as he walked down to the third base line. Now we hear him talking in the ear of the third base umpire, so there's something that the Jumbo skipper is not pleased about as he is still pumping his fist and running his mouth at a third base umpire who is just not listening, turning his head. But like to see that out of a coach, maybe kind of just trying to fire up the boys or set precedent in a new program, or maybe he's genuinely upset about how this game has been called. But nonetheless, we're more focused on the action between the lines. We've got James Henson standing in now with a 1-1 count. He reached in his first at bat as he hits one there at the second baseman, hustling down the line, and it's in the dirt. It's not able to be picked. So hopefully the Jumbos can capitalize on a little defensive miscue as the Bordes to Murray connection was not clean. Bordes' throw into the dirt, and Murray couldn't field it cleanly.
And I was going to say, they had him shifted really nicely there. Bordes shifted up the middle, almost right behind second base. Basically took away a hit from Henson in that sense, but was unable to execute a little bit longer of a throw than most second basemen are accustomed to.
Yeah, I'm really wondering what they're looking at. Bordes has been directly in the position to field these infield ground balls. You know, Murray can't hold it at the first base bag, but it feels like they're on to these Tufts batters, and they're advanced analytics, which is, like you said, Matt, not something you see in D3 baseball all that often.
You know what I'm envisioning? I'm envisioning some computer scientist, baseball enthusiast deep in the library of Bowdoin College, reaching out to the coach with some advanced defensive alignments, and whoever that kid is, that fictitious kid that I'm romanticizing, I hope he appreciates the shout out on the broadcast because it's been going well for Bowdoin. They've been in the right spot, although not able to capitalize there. It feels weird to say that all pressure is on the Jumbos in the fourth inning, but again, a reminder that this is just a 7-inning game, and this is the heart of the order against a really tough arm. So this is the inning for Tufts to get things going now.
Bogdanos's pitch count's still relatively low, so he's definitely in a position to be able to finish this game out. And if he continues pitching with the same efficiency that he has been, this heart of the lineup may not see him again. So obviously he's just at 46 pitches right now. I'm sure he'll be able to go up to 100 pitches, especially with 3 games in the next 3 days. So Coach Connolly will want to get as much length out of him as possible.
As that ball is hit through the hole, and Henshin is rounding hard, though throwing on the brakes, so it'll be a single, and the runners just go station to station. Nice piece of hitting there by Max Pavlik with 2 strikes. So now with no out and 2 ducks on the pond, the catcher Connor Brawla will come up, and gentlemen, you never want to jinx it with an announcer's curse, but this is a guy who certainly has the potential to change the complexion of this game and tie it up with just one swing. He already has 2 bombs this year, and last year, in a sample size of just 18 at-bats, he slugged over 1 dot with 4 home runs. So there's certainly some juice in Connor Brawla's bat, and hopefully he can jump on one here and plate some of these guys.
And look, I'm a baseball purist. I know that this guy has power, but I would love to see him show hands here, throw a bunt down. Still only the 4th inning. Put 2 runners in scoring position. Ability to score with an out is always really valuable. I doubt we'll see it, but advancing the runners will be really valuable here, especially with Brawla, who's a little bit of a lesser runner.
To offer a dissenting opinion, following Brawla is Fleckner, Lisco, and Fleischer, all guys hitting, Lisco hitting the best of those guys, hitting 265, but the other 2 under 250. This is really where the meat of the power in the lineup comes from in Brawla. He's in the driver's seat here now. Ooh, as he takes a fastball on the outside edge.
Tough call there. Yeah, but Brawla homered versus Bates last week, looking for another Nescac bomb.
You know Stark's not going to be happy about that fastball that he took. Wanting to do damage, puts Bogdanos in a good pitch to use that wipeout slider and possibly put Brawla away.
And he does just that. The wipeout slider gets him chasing, so
not a good at-bat there for Brawla. Really want to at least work the count. Takes a 1-1 fastball, probably the best pitch you're going to get on an at-bat. Swings at the slider that starts on the outer half, breaks all the way outside. Really only a strike coming out of the hand. If you recognize spin, you're going to know that that is not going to end up as a strike. But he was in swing mode. It got caught off balance. Really big strikeout for Bogdanos.
yeah, although I will, as that ball is hit off the hands, it might
trouble.
fall. Nice play.
Oh, wow.
No,
Oh,
my goodness.
oh, my
no,
God.
no. Not what Tufts need.
Wow.
Foley makes a nice play
Man.
over his back shoulder, and they double off. That's Henshin on second base, throwing it over to the second baseman, Bordes. So
Disaster.
in 2 pitches, it goes from 2 on and nobody out to an inning-ending double play. So the Jumbos plate none on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 strikeout for Bogdanos. The lead remains Bowdoin 3-0. We'll be back in the top of the 5th after a disappointing bottom of the 4th from Tufts. And we're back in the top of the fifth as Bowdoin has Bordes, Murray, and Chai. That's 2, 3, 4 in their lineup due up. Ooh, as a beautiful slider lands for strike one against Bordes, who is 1 for 2 on the day. The bottom of the fourth ended disappointingly for the Jumbos on that inning-ending double play after a nice play by Foley, the third baseman, as that ball is laced into the left center gap, and chasing after it is Henry Fleckner. He'll field it out by that 370 sign and hit the cutoff man, but that is a double, a leadoff double for Will Bordes to start things off for Bowdoin.
Yeah, leadoff standing double at that. He's been pretty great this game. Bordes, he off of the pitcher Silas Reed.
2 for 3, single and a double halfway to the cycle.
Got the two easiest things, but halfway to the cycle nonetheless. Kevin Murray now standing in. He's the 3-hitter who laid down that costly bunt earlier in the game that was thrown up the left field line. Ultimately spiraled into 2 runs for Bowdoin in the top of the third. He's now got a 1-0 count, and Will Bordes on second base. He takes, just narrowly jumps out of the way of the 1-0. Fastball, kind of a brush-off pitch from Silas Reed, whose pitch count now is 55. He has 3 strikeouts on the day, though he has conceded 7 hits and 3 runs, only 1 of those earned.
Yeah, and this is a guy who hit 407 last season in that first team All NESCAC season. A little bit down now, down to 273 as he reached once on an error. But like we said before, 2 triples, 2 triples, 5 home runs with 24 RBIs. He loves a guy in scoring position, and that's what he did last time he came here to the get. He had 1 run with 2 RBIs as he reaches on the first walk of the day for either pitcher.
And it's a 4-pitch walk at that. So now 2 ducks on the pond here for Chai, who's 1 for 2 on the day. The Polar Bears left fielder, who is undoubtedly a potent offensive threat out of the 4-hole, and not the guy you want to see with no outs.
We'll see the corners pinch here, expecting a bunt, although 4-hitter, not usually known for bunting, but we've already seen Coach Connolly not hesitate to put the bunt side on for the 3-hole, so I would not be too surprised if we threw the bunt side for the 4-hole, although he takes a first pitch strike there.
Seeing a little bit of action out in the Jumbos pen. Can't exactly see who they have, but Warming getting hot as Reed is finding himself in a bit of a pickle here in the the top of the 5th inning. Does a nice job getting ahead here on Chai. Count is now 0-2. Lots of directions Silas Reed could go.
Really need the strikeout here, though.
Back-to-back fastballs. Curious to see, maybe he's been liking that backdoor slider. He shakes off the call from Connor Brawla.
I'd like to see the changeup here. He's had some success with it against the lefties early on.
He goes slider and swing and a miss. Chai strikes out a big strikeout now. The corners can probably drop back and look for a double play ball.
Absolutely great pitch by there. Started that slider couple inches off of the plate, breaks back onto it, had the hitter out in front timing-wise and guessing a little bit location-wise. Gets a weak swing from Chai and a big first out.
I'll be curious to see if, as there we see him start off Foley with the off-speed pitch. It seems to be that Silas Reed has been finding more success with the slow stuff than the heater. Bowdoin has been jumping on the fastball a lot, and that backdoor slider has been particularly effective to the lefty.
You got to keep him honest with that fastball, though. I think that looked like another slider, because once you start sitting on this off-speed, they start to catch on, but then you can blow them away with some really hot stuff for D3 and for the NESCAC, as, like you said before, we were recording high 80s, 88. He's topping out at, that was a fastball.
Liam Foley smokes that one, and the stop sign is on at third base. Runners go station to station, and the bases are now juiced with just 1 out. Nice piece of hitting. That's the 2nd hit of the game for the center fielder, Liam Foley.
Yep. Foley's 1 for 2 today. He has an RBI and 1 fielder's choice.
Still no one throwing out in Jumbo's bullpen. Some arms walking around. briskly, but nobody throwing. As the Jumbos will pinch the corners here, trying to cut down the run at home. As Reed drops in yet another first pitch backdoor slider.
Yeah, that backdoor slider has been landing at will. Good point by you, Sam. You have to use it sparingly, but when Reed can land it for first pitch strikes consistently, it is a nice way to start off batters. Corners drawn, middle back, looking for either a play at the plate or a double play ball. Ideally a strikeout here, but we're dealing with the 6-hitter in the lineup here who, again, is hitting 347 on the season. So
Some crazy stuff.
really not something you see often and definitely difficult to deal with as a pitcher whenever the heart of the order loads the bases and you still have guys slugging up over 500 down lower in the lineup. As that fastball misses up, that was the 0-2 delivery, so looking to get a chase at the high heat. Count is now 1-2.
Yeah, the slider can be a really potent weapon, but when you're missing with it, you're trying to throw it over for a strike like he did last time to Foley. Goes 2-0 after missing 2 sliders. Then you know you're going to come with the fastball. Foley was able to jump all over that.
It's change up there, and it's hit slowly at the first baseman who's going to come home with it.
What?
Oh, my goodness, and it pops out of the glove of Connor Brawla. A.J. Lisco had the timing, but crow-hopped and fired home from about 45 feet at Connor Brawla, and it was just far too hot to handle. That's always a tough play because you want to get it out quick, but you got to give a throw that your catcher can deliver. It was on target, but about 90 miles an hour. Pops out of the mid of Brawla. That's another unearned run. Bases now loaded still with only 1 out, and the 7-hole hitter will come up.
Yeah, and that's Lisco at first. He's not a traditional first baseman, more of a utility guy through the years. Not super consistent defensively at that bag, as you saw there. Just, butchering that play at the plate.
Though in defense of A.J. Lisco being over at first base, the other platoon guy over at first base is Cooper Smith, who is now in right field, and that is his natural position. So the Jumbos don't really have a true first baseman by trade. They've been kind of testing in some different guys there and have seen some different defensive miscues in the growing pains of trying a new position. As Harrison raised his arm, he's the club baseball first baseman for a highly successful Tufts club baseball program. Maybe he wants to
Put me in, coach.
put him in, coach, as the song goes. He's ready to play.
But yeah, just 1 out here. Again, defense really not helping out the pitcher with pitch efficiency. The 3rd error on the Jumbos. Reed really has done a pretty good job, all things considered, letting this game get a little bit away from him. But the way that Bogdanos is pitching, a 4-run lead, 4-run, sorry, feels a little bit insurmountable.
Yeah, especially with
As that ball
oh.
is hit out to center field, we're going to expect a tag here, and the tag does come. Henry Fleckner throws in. That ball is cut off smartly by Lisco. So runner on third tags. Tufts will once again trade and out for a run. And it is now 5-1.
5-0.
Or excuse me, 5-0. That run was accidentally put in the jumbo slot of the scoreboard. But yeah, 5-0 Bowdoin with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
I got 5 on it. Sorry. Yeah, 5 runs. We're in the 5th now. Just not what you want to see, especially from Silas Reed, who's been almost lights out under his
That ball
glove,
skirts
man.
under his glove. We're going to see a play at the plate. Henry Fleckner comes up firing, throws home, and sliding in safely there is Liam Foley. Scores from second base on the hit up the middle from the catcher Dirks. That's his 2nd hit of the game. And the wheels are coming off here in the bottom of the 5th inning as the as the Polar Bears are putting up another crooked number.
6-1 now, 9 hits for the Polar Bears. 6-0. Sorry, we're having troubles with the scoreboard out in right center field. 6-0. Seems like Dirks was able to jump on that first pitch slider there that kind of sat in the middle of the zone. He's been able to get away with it early in counts earlier in the game, but this time Dirks all over it, doing damage. Smoked that ball back up the middle.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe Bowdoin looking to start a big rally, maybe push this score into double digits, but Cal Thompson lays down a peculiar bunt, maybe looking to reach. He's a speedy guy.
I mean, this is just the struggle of dealing with a nagging lineup with so much offensive talent. You try to get through the heart of the order and you're okay conceding a couple hits to those guys, but then 6, 7, 8, and I mean, even Cal Thompson in the 9 hole are just incredibly talented guys who have had success all throughout the year. So I think that's part of the difficulty that Silas Reed is feeling, is that there's just talent all throughout this Bowdoin lineup. He does strike out Cal Thompson to finally get out of the inning. Bowdoin plates 3 more and strands 2. It is now 6-0. Tufts will come up to bat in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be back in a few. Stick with us.
Back here in the bottom of the 5th, Tufts in desperate need of some run support, down 6 here as they'll come to the plate facing Bogdanos once again, taking a first pitch strike. The lefty, believe that's Lisco. Yeah, AJ Lisco takes a first pitch strike, down 6.
Yeah,
0-1 is the count.
He was the one that, could not make the play at the plate rather, that let them start that rally. Here's our play-by-play commentator. But hopefully he can make up for that with a play at the plate here, but now with a bat in his hand.
Yeah, looking for a bit of redemption, although I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come up with 6 runs in one swing. But when you're down so much, you really just want to start the chain.
As Lisco flies that ball out to the left fielder, Chai, who's been swinging a hot stick today, makes the play for the first out of the inning.
And if you were able to see on our screen there, the Bowdoin Polar Bears were using an old MLB shift that is now illegal in the MLB. They had 3 guys to the right of second base, their second baseman in shallow right field, third baseman playing in between where third and short would typically play. Something unique about college baseball now that we do not see on the professional level. AJ Lisco, 3 guys on the right side of the field.
Yeah, I have never seen this much movement on the defensive side of things. Bowdoin shifting for every hitter in the Tufts lineup, and sometimes you'll see that if you know a guy is a pull-happy guy or an oppo guy, you'll see the outfield shade a little bit in one direction or the other, but Bowdoin really modifying their defensive alignment pretty drastically for each hitter. Play Ozzie Fleischer pretty true, and he bounces one right at the shortstop. That's Cook, who makes the play routinely. Fleischer goes down for his second time today. That flips the order. It's Jesse McCullough now, the second baseman. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Tufts desperately needs to get things going.
And not even get things going, but just get this Bowdoin pitcher out of his flow, man. He's really entered kind of a flow state, if you will. Bogdanos has just 64, 63 pitches through 4 2/3. Really strong pitch efficiency, less than 15 pitches an inning. Overall, doing a really good job keeping Bowdoin in the dugout and with the bats, keeping his defenders warm.
Good point, Harrison. The high auspice misses there, so count is now 2-1. 2-1 delivery is a slider down in the dirt.
But yeah, if you're Coach Connolly, you really want Bogdanos to attack here as he has. Put the fastball in, let these Jumbos hit it, see what they can do with it. They haven't really done much so far.
That one misses in on the hands, so he kind of nibbles around with a couple off-speed pitches, and it doesn't pay to his advantage as Jesse McCullough reaches via the free pass with 2 outs. Don't love 2-out walks. Don't love leadoff walks. Really not the most insightful expression, as those are 2 of the 3 possible times to walk. You really don't want walks any of the time. But
His first of the day, I think, as well, Bogdanos.
Yeah, which speaks to his pitch efficiency as well. Silas Reed did a good job with that.
nice hit there by Ben Leonard. That is hit right on the screws up the middle. He tattooed that ball right back at Bogdanos. Narrowly got out of the way of it. So that's a little 2-out lightning for the Bows. It brings up Cooper Smith. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He comes up. A couple stake opportunities out there. He's got guys on first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, and I think this might spook a pitcher a little bit. You put 2 on the bags with 2 outs away. The last thing you want to do is give up any runs with 2 away. Jumbo's looking to start a rally in the bottom of this late 5th inning.
And Jumbo's have been hitting a lot of foul balls over in the parking lot over there. We've got every inning a pair of guys are assigned on foul ball duty, and they have been busy running around amidst the cars collecting foul balls. A lot of our righties late on Bogdanos' heater and slapping it over in the direction of the parking lot. But good baseball teams work like well-oiled machines, and even the guys sitting the bench play a part. So collecting foul balls, doing things of that nature, charting is how good programs operate, and got a couple of Jumbos over in the parking lot chasing after foul balls.
Spread the wealth.
0-2 now. Bogdanos looking to get through 5 shutout innings.
As that back pick goes into second base after an aggressive secondary, looking to maybe take a bag on the dirt ball read out there. That's Jesse McCullough on second base, but gets back in easily on the back pick. Count is now 1-2 to the right fielder Cooper Smith, sitting .333 on the year, and the Jumbos could really use him coming through here with 2 outs and 2 on.
He's 1 for 2 with a single to left and a fly out to center.
As that ball is hit at the shortstop, it's going to be a tough play, ranging left. He throws really, really nice play to the backhand side by Will Cook. So the Jumbos strand to plate none on 1 hit, a walk. Score is still Bowdoin 6-0. We'll be back in the top of the 6th. Stay with us. We're back here in the top of the 6th inning. Going to get a pitching change for the Jumbos after 5 innings of work from the starter, Silas Reed. They go handing the ball to another grad student. It's right-hand pitcher out of Lone Tree, Colorado, Hunter Beindorf. He stands at 6'1", 195, has made 5 appearances on the year, all in relief. In 8 2/3 inning of work, has posted a 5.19 ERA with 7 strikeouts, only conceding 5 earned runs. So a guy that the Jumbos trust in this situation, a guy Brian Stark is comfortable handing the ball over to, and a guy that cannot concede any more insurance runs to extend what currently stands as a 6-0 Bowdoin lead.
Yeah, they trotted him out just 3 days ago in the loss against Endicott. He looked pretty good. didn't give up a run in the one inning he played. Was pretty great the week before that against UMass Boston. Put together a really nice inning in that win. Yeah, like I said, pitched one inning, put two strikeouts, and again, no earned runs. That's what they're looking for from him right now.
Beindorf will face the top of the Bowdoin lineup in the fourth time through it. It's Siegel, Bordes, and Murray, all of whom have hits. Or excuse me, Murray reached on that errant throw on the bunt attempt, but all of whom have reached base at least one time in this game. So Beindorf has his hands full, but he gets ahead early on Ruben Siegel. Count is 0-1. Siegel laces that ball hard out to left field. Hit it well, but directly at the left fielder, Ben Leonard. So on two pitches, Hunter Beindorf gets the first out of the inning and retires the leadoff man.
Yeah, that's what you want from your pitcher in relief. I know these guys are known for their heat, they're known for their strikeouts, but they're also known for their ability to get ground outs and get fly outs. They're supposed to get outs in whatever shape or form you want. That's a really good one to the left fielder.
That one was a pretty loud out, I will say. Swinging early is Bordes. That one was hit well, just directly at the left fielder, and that's been characteristic of this Bowdoin offense. I mean, we've mentioned the offensive weapons. They have 1 through 9. They've been hitting the ball hard. Even outs, they've been hitting hard all throughout this game. That's been a major contributing factor in them having 9 hits and a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, Bogdanov's final line, 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 4 of which were swinging, 6 runs, only 3 of which were earned. He will leave the game not eligible for a win, obviously. Jumbo's trailing 6-0. Beindorf, a grad student, as stated earlier, out of Valor Christian High School in Lone Tree, Colorado, as he allows the single up the middle from Bordes, who just keeps hitting his 3rd hit of the game. Really putting together a strong game and season for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, he's been, like I talked about in that first inning, just incredible. Last season only posted a 176 average over 8 starts, was also on the mound a few times, pitched 10 innings with 0 earned runs. He's a really good closer, but this season just burst onto the scene, slashing 359, 408, and 516, 2 home runs and 22 RBIs. On top of that, like we said, no earned runs over 10 innings pitched already. Just kind of a jack of all trades that you do not see in D3, let alone the NESCAC on the diamond.
Kevin Murray stands in, hitting out of the 3-hole, the first baseman. He's over 1, has walked and reached on that error where he bunted with 2 guys on earlier in this one. That was kind of the beginning of the downfall for the Jumbos on the defensive side of things. So Murray stands in, taking his 4th at bat as the runner goes, and right on cue, the ball is slapped into left field. So after that hit, Murray is now one of 7 guys with a hit in this one for Bowdoin. They're really getting production from all parts of their lineup, and Hunter Beindorf finding himself in a little bit of a bind, no pun intended, here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Beindorf, I talked about his good outings. He's had some struggles, though. They made him pitch 4 innings against Whittier, earned 2 runs there, pitched 1 against MIT, earned 3 there. As they get the out at first base, but runners advance.
That'll be 3 unassisted there, as Lisco did a nice job getting over and covering the bag, getting the 2nd out. Tufts desperately needs to hold these Polar Bears to the lead, keep the lead where it is right now, out already at a really big number, being 6. Anything else would feel like a little bit of a nail in the coffin for the Jumbos.
Yeah, dangerous guy coming up, though. Foley, he's 2 for 3.
Yeah, Liam Foley, 2 for 3 on the day. That'll add to a junior year campaign where he's hitting 369, so a tough guy to see with guys on 2nd and 3rd here. Beindorf plunks him. Honestly, doesn't feel good for Foley, but not the worst outcome for Beindorf. He had a place to put him, 2nd and 3rd. But now the bases are loaded, and coming up to the plate is the shortstop, Will Cook. He's 0 for 2 on the day, one of only 2 guys now in this Bowdoin lineup who is hitless. So maybe not the worst outcome putting Foley on there, but now you've got to deal with or excuse me, this is Cahill, the DH. Cook waits on deck. So this is Cahill, who's 1 for 3 on the day.
Yeah, but still, like you said, no matter where you are in this lineup, you have danger. He's hitting 347 in the middle of this lineup. He hacks there, but still. And finally, he's been up most of the time with no one on, but he has 19 RBIs off 17 hits. We talked about him being great with runners in scoring position. He has 3 now as the bases are loaded.
Nice gutsy 1-0 changeup there from Beindorf has Cahill way out in front. Good changeup, as Jose Ramirez would say.
We'll change, huh?
Count is now 2-1 with the bases loaded here in the top of the 6th inning. That pitch catches the inside corner, well caught by Connor Bralla. 2-2 here. Big pitch. If the Jumbos want any prayer of staying into this one, they need to limit the damage and get out of this one with a scoreless frame. Haven't had many of those today. Nice block there on a pitch in the dirt.
3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Runners will be in motion here. You'd have to assume something in the gap will presumably score 3 runs here. So undoubtedly a huge pitch here for Beindorf.
Yeah, I would say they're running on anything right now.
Swung on and hit off the glove. Make a play. Nice play. Jesse McCullough coming in. That can be tricky for a pitcher when it just barely tips off the top of the glove on a comebacker, but Jesse McCullough handles it nicely and retires Cahill. So the Jumbos able to limit damage. Bowdoin not able to plate any. They strand 3 in the top of the 6th. Tufts will come up to bat in the bottom of the 6th. They'll have the 4-hitter Henshin, followed by Pavliks and Bralla. Stick with us. We'll be back in a sec. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on JumboCast in the bottom of the 6th inning. While the actual polar bears up in the Arctic, maybe the ones on thin ice, it's the Jumbos here today that are on thin ice against the Bowdoin polar bears. They're down 6-0, and Jason Bogdanos is pitching an absolute gem. 3 Ks across 5 innings of work, has only conceded 6 hits and 1 walk. He'll have to face the meat of this Tufts lineup with Henshin, Pavliks, and Bralla, as Henshin takes the first pitch inside for a ball off the hands.
Yeah, we love a environmentally aware commentator here at JumboCast.
Shout out to the polar bears, man.
Yeah, man.
There are some uncomfortable polar bears out there, but these Bowdoin polar bears are sitting pretty happy, looking to extend their season record to 20-4.
Climate change is no laughing matter, guys. Come on.
And this 20th win, and then being
Oh.
able to pick up a series win here in Massachusetts. I mean, this Bowdoin team is starting to put together a really strong record, building on a record that's already strong. That'll put them forward or in a position for an at-large bid argument if they are unable to win this highly competitive conference.
And you know who I love watching play baseball? James Henshin. He is a fun guy to have around this program as he laces his 2nd hit of the game. That's his 3rd consecutive multi-hit game. He is heating up at the right time of the season, right when the Jumbos need him. You know, he was a bit of a questionable slot into the cleanup role as a freshman, but Brian Stark saw something in him, and boy, was he right. That pick has really been coming to fruition as James Henshin has been on a tear as of late. Leads off this inning with a ball hard hit out to left field for a single. That'll bring up Max Pavlik, who's 1 for 2 on the day. He's the DH. Maybe the Jumbos can finally get something going off of Jason Bogdanos, but nonetheless, even if this one does fall in the loss column, nice to see production out of some of the young talent.
Yeah, there's actually a surprising age disparity in these teams. You know, sometimes when you have a team coming in 19 and 4, you're thinking, "Oh, these guys are posting a lot of older guys, a lot of grad students." This is a really young Bowdoin team and a generally older Tufts team. Henshin, a young spot, driven deep into left field there.
Sitting under it is Chai. Ooh, bit of a sketchy play as it takes him a couple steps to his left as he reels it in, but makes the out. Nonetheless, that retires Pavlik, who's now 1 for 3 on the day. Sam, you were saying?
Yeah, like I was saying, Henshin just a young spot on this Tufts team coming up against just a young array of stars on the Bowdoin Bears team, most of which posting above 300 batting averages, which is just great for the Division III baseball sport.
As that ball is swung on, hanging off-speed pitch, Connor Brala got all over it. Oh, got a little too excited, making the play at the wall, back up against the fence is Chai. Wind here is heavy and blowing out to right field. Have to imagine that one played a factor knocking that ball down because that looked really well hit off the bat of a guy who certainly has some juice, hit 4 home runs last year in just 18 at-bats, already has 2 on the year. Thought Connor Brala caught a hanging off speed, stood up, got a little too excited. Chai reels it in. Man, that would have been nice.
Yeah, with only one away, a 2-run home run would have maybe started something. Just a shallow fly out there from Fleckner.
Baseball is a game of inches. In that case, maybe a game of 2 or 3 feet or a couple miles an hour of wind. But whatever it is, the Jumbos are not able to plate any runs in the bottom of the 6th. It's a quick inning. It looks like Jason Bogdanos is poised to go the distance. His pitch count is 81. He'll go into his final inning of work. But first, Bowdoin will have one more chance to add some insurance in the top of the 7th. We'll be back. Stick with us.
And let's take another look at that hit there by Brala. Deep drive into left field. It's 330 there at the pole, but just great tracking by Chai. Catches it with his back to the wall. Man, would that have not changed the game a little bit?
As we mentioned, Sam, some heavy left to right wind blowing exactly in the opposite direction, opposing that nice piece from Brala. Brala puts a little extra juice on that throw down to second between innings. Sometimes that's something catchers will do to maybe get out some frustration, just throw a dart down to second base. So he's getting over what would have been a nice third homer to add to the stat sheet for the year and would have definitely changed the complexion of this one. But it's still 6-0 Bowdoin as we get things started now in the top of the 7th with freshman Will Cook.
Yeah, and it's still Beindorf out there. Posted no earned runs off of a few hits in his last inning here. They make the choice to keep him out there. Maybe, we have to remember this is a doubleheader, not wanting to pull through all of the arms just yet, but see what he can get done so far.
As that ball is hit right back where it came from, Will Cook. Now the 8th guy in the Bowdoin lineup with at least one hit. The only hitless guy is center fielder Cal Thompson, who's now on deck. Bowdoin is just producing at all levels. Not a single easy out in this lineup, and the Jumbo's pitching staff is realizing that quickly.
Yeah, it's always hard there on the mound to, flash the leather into the ground, make the play on a grounder. Just story of the game, just almost there, but not quite from Beindorf. You know, a lot of these runs scored by Bowdoin feel preventable. A few errors, a few near misses in the infield and in the outfield. Uh, some drop balls, but you know, a second game to come. You never know what's going to happen there.
Definitely preventable runs. The 3 errors to the Jumbos will be a narrative to follow in this one. Can't concede free runs like that to just talented teams that hit well. You're going to lose games when you do that. And
Bowdoin Bowdoin's 6 through 9 hitters have produced 4 hits, which is simply exemplary. And you know that Coach Connolly will be very satisfied with that. They're getting production from all levels of their lineup, very balanced lineup. That's proven to be very formidable for this Jumbo's pitching staff through the first 6 innings of Game 1 of 3 this weekend here in Medford, Mass, as both teams go into their third weekend of NESCAC conference play, one of the more formidable conferences in the country at the D3 level across all sports, especially in baseball. The NESCAC reigns supreme.
nice pitch there. Count is now 2-2 to the catcher Dirks, who's 2 for 3 on the day.
Matt, you order that iced coffee online, or did they get the spelling your name right off in person?
Yeah, I spelled that one correctly online. It's rare that it was Matthew with 1 T. Rare to see that spelled correct, but yeah.
Yes, for those who do not know, our leading man here is Matthew with 1 T, or Matt, like the floor mat as we call him.
Indeed it is. Hunter Beindorf strikes out Dirk for the first out of the inning. Standing in now as the only hitless member of this Bowdoin lineup, Cal Thompson.
Beardorf paying close attention to Cook over at first, the speedy shortstop, picking off already the 3rd time since he's been on base. He's dancing over there. Aggressive secondaries as we see a back pick that really didn't have much of a chance to get him.
And not a great back pick from Connor Bralla. Skips it in there. Nice pick by AJ Lisco. Count is 1-0 with 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Bowdoin really turning around this program, as we mentioned in the pregame conversation, as Thompson looks down to lay a bunt, but that got a piece of him in the box, so we'll do it over. They've kind of hovered around 500 for the last couple of years, 18 and 17 in 2024, 18 and 26 the previous season. This year, just a completely different narrative. The most dominant team in the NESCAC. Certainly potential to get an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament and make a run in the NESCAC tournament. I mean, this team is justified in having extremely high aspirations. They've been proving it on the field week after week. As the runner is in motion and that pitch plunks Cal Thompson, so he will not have the chance to be the 9th guy with a hit, which would have been some stat for every guy in the lineup to have a hit, but nonetheless, he does reach base. So now everyone in the Bowdoin lineup has at least reached base. Rare to see a team even get 9 hits in the course of a game, particularly a 7-inning game, but Bowdoin has 12, and they've gotten production from all sides of the lineup, and that's a big reason why they're soon to be 20-4 on the year.
Yeah, and hasn't this been a statement win for the Bowdoin Bears? You know, we came in, we were hesitant to look only at that 19-4 record, talking about some strength of schedule. They're way up north, playing some teams that the teams further down south in the NESCAC don't play.
Yep.
But, you know, they come here to the get. Despite a lackluster 10-12 record for the Jumbos, this is a really talented team. And to come here post 6 and really look unfazed on both sides of the plate, you know, you gotta recognize and respect this year's Bowdoin team, like you said, looking to go 20-4, barring a late rally from the Jumbos, you know.
As that ball is hit at Ozzie Fleischer, looks like a tailor-made 2-ball Slide came in late at second base. No call of interference, although Fleischer's going to have to take a second to walk that one off. Anyways, it'll go as a fielder's choice. Runner advanced to third on the play, so 2 down, guys on the corners. It'll flip the lineup now for Bowdoin.
It's going to be the 2-hole hitter, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Bordis. Yeah, and Sam, you make a really good point. I did have my doubts about this team. The non-conference play, usually for D3 teams, is a lot of in-state teams. In the non-conference teams,
Runner goes, Tufts throws through, and that's going to be a run.
you can't throw that down.
Looks like the runner had a good jump. It was an off-speed pitch. Nonetheless, Connor Bralla pulls the trigger and throws through. Usually first and third, there's going to be a situational call from the catcher. Either they're going to throw it through or they're going to have an infielder crashing or maybe look for a back pick over at third base or eat it entirely. But again, you call the play and it's highly situationally dependent. Connor Bralla probably should not have thrown that ball considering the jump. As the runners go again, man, they're just running all over. Maybe it's Hunter Beindorfer, maybe it's Connor Bralla, maybe a combination of the two, but they're taking bases at will and piling it on here are the Polar Bears in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, no mercy here from the Polar Bears. Really aggressive base running all around, and we knew that coming in. They have about 70 stolen bases, which is up there with the best of them nationally. Yeah, once again, I'm not sure that was the best decision by Connor Bralla there. You really want to cut the damage there, and you know this aggressive Bowdoin team. If you throw that down straight through, have to imagine that the runner on third will come in. Even if that ball was fielded cleanly at second, I'm not sure they would have had much of a play. Bowdoin, a lot of stolen bases. I mean, they have speed everywhere. They're 3-hole drop down a bunt. This is a team that can do anything. I'd imagine that all 9 of these guys can steal a base at any time. Really versatile team. Provides a unique defensive challenge.
And the 2-hole hitter, that's Will Bordes, delivers a knock and plates another one. He is now 4 for 5. Have yourself a day. Really, really nice day from the Bowdoin second baseman. It's another RBI to his ledger. Now 2 outs, guy on first, 8-0. Kevin Murray comes up. He's 1 for 2.
Yeah, and I think when you're in a doubleheader scenario, especially away from home, you're not looking to take the knife out at all. I think you want to draw them down into a second game, feeling a little decrepit. I think stealing home is one of the things that'll do that to you the most. So does tacking on an 8th in the bottom of the set, or the top of the 7th, sorry. But yeah, 2 outs, and you're looking at the Jumbos on the field right now. Their heads are not especially high. They're fumbling plays in the infield. 2 are on now. You can tell their heart's really not in it anymore, which is hard.
So he'll go down on 3 pitches. That'll be the 3rd out of the inning for Tufts. Bowdoin is able to put 2 more across. The deficit is now 8-0. Tufts will have last hacks at it in the bottom of the 7th. Stick with us. We'll be back in a sec. All right, we're back here in the bottom of the 7th as Tufts will have last licks and try to crawl back into this one, though they're down 8-0. Maybe just get some momentum going into the second game of this doubleheader in what is a 3-game set with the 3rd game scheduled for Sunday afternoon of NESCAC conference play.
Yeah, Beardorf, assuming, barring any miraculous comeback here, his final line will be 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout, swinging 2 runs, both of which were earned, and he will not qualify to win the game. Lisco again
Step.
steps up.
That ball is hit well, and the wind is helping it. It's out towards that tall wall out in right field.
Oh my God.
Right on the track,
Man.
making the play is Ruben Siegel. Second time this game, the Jumbos have flown out to the deep warning track. Outfielders making plays with their backs on the fence. So Bogdanos getting some hard outs, but also just really pitching a gem of a game. Has conceded 7 hits. It's been a shutout, and he's looking to go the distance. He's 84 pitches into this one and only needs 2 more outs to do it. Not sure how that goes on the season stat line, considering as a complete game in a 7-inning game is a little different.
Yeah, he hasn't even gone 7 yet this season. This would be obviously his first complete, but this is his first time making it into the 7th inning, posting some pretty good numbers. Obviously, the shutout, that's a really good play there at second by Bordas.
I mean,
yeah.
I think these last 2 swings we've seen from Lisco and then Ozzie Fleischer,
Very indicative of how this game has gone for the
Yeah.
Jumbos.
exactly what I was going to say. I mean, just hitting the ball pretty well. They have 7 hits, just right at guys, not able to push things across. Couple nice plays on the defensive end, and really just a good job, good situational pitching and defense by Jason Bogdanos in the field behind him. For Bowdoin has allowed a shutout in what has not been really too bad of an offensive performance from the Jumbos. They have 7 hits and they've hit balls hard, but they can't scrape anything across.
Yeah, and just again, like you said, have yourself a day, Will Bordas. Flashing the leather all game. Hit to him again. Gets the grounder. Final out of the game. Call it out.
And with that, the Bowdoin Polar Bears will best the Tufts University Jumbos in the first game of this NESCAC Conference doubleheader by a score of 8-0. The Polar Bears out-hit the Jumbos 13-7 on the day, and a big storyline will be following as this series continues is 4 errors from the Jumbos, which lead to several unearned runs and some back-breaking long innings. Harrison, Sam, any final reflections on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's Bogdanos who led the way for this team. Obviously, I'll go through his final line for you guys. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Speaks to his pitch efficiency. Did a really good job pitching to contact. And then obviously 0 runs, 0 earned runs. He'll get the win and the complete game shutout. Really strong outing for the grad student James Bogdanos out of Brooklyn, New York, my hometown. Doing a really good job of shutting down a strong and potent Jumbo's offense.
Yeah. We came into this game thinking we'd see a duel of some arms. We saw a domination of one arm, like you said. 0 runs scored by the Jumbos. You know, they were kind of on Silas Reed all day. Tacked a couple off of Beindorf in relief as well. You know, it remains to be seen what's going to happen in the second game of the doubleheader. But overall, look out for the Bowdoin Bears this season. They're coming for the whole NESCAC right now.
Absolutely, Sam. Good calls all around. It was Bogdanos pitching a gem, Bowdoin with lively bats, and Tufts unable to capitalize with any kind of timely hitting, as well as some defensive miscues that characterized this one. Bowdoin wins 8-0 in 7. New voices for the second half of the doubleheader. You'll have Jared Cohen and Sebastian Gold, 2 great commentators with you. In the meantime, it's been a pleasure celebrating Green Dot Day and watching some good baseball here on Friday afternoon. I've been Matthew Long with Harrison Sternberg and Sam Weinstein. Stick around for the second game of this doubleheader. Should be with us in 30 to 40.